husband driving you insane? We have an awesome show today. We've got improv, these really great, awesome professional actresses. Whoa, it's going to be hot and awesome. This is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies TalkShow. We are in for an awesome show. Hey, welcome everybody. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I am going to give about a few minutes of communication tools, action things that you can do that you can remember and memorize exactly when you do them, okay? That's going to be for the first couple of minutes. Then we're going to go right into improv role-playing with communication. We've got some awesome actresses here. So they are going to do the role-playing, and I'm going to correct them and eat them up. And you guys also. Here's what I want from you. Everybody who's listening, I want you to think of what is your biggest, most annoying thing that your husband does with you. So, okay, let me start. Here, we're going to talk about communication now. So we all know, everybody says communication is the key. That is the most important thing in a marriage, whatever. And then they're like, well, how do I exactly do that? Today, you're going to find out. So I'm going to give you a very simple thing. Some people love these what's a mnemonic? How do you explain? What's a mnemonic?
All I know, Leah, is already the wife is listening to you with bated breath, and the husband is totally not looking, looking down, doing 100 other things. You are not in role play yet.
You're not in role play yet.
Okay,
fine. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's the thing. A mnemonic is where you take letters so that it's easy to remember. So when you're in the heat of the moment, you can remember it. And the mnemonic is HOT. H-O-T. Hot. Do you write that? Can you type that in? H-O-T, so they'll know this. H.
Honey, that's what you are.
That's hot. Ooh, psh, psh, psh. Okay, so HOT. Here's what HOT stands for. H. H is how you say it. So if your husband's really annoying you, like, I can't believe you. Not effective. Right? So how you say it, as we all know, is everything. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like you could say, do you mind locking the front door? Do you mind locking the front door? One's effective, one could be effective one time, and then the rest of the time they're so annoyed at you that they resent you, okay? So the long-term way of saying, honey, please, can you lock the doors? Oh, do you mind locking the door? I forgot, you're my hero, or something like that, okay? So that's H is for how you say it. O. O is the outcome you are looking for. So what that means is before you even open your mouth, you're like, okay, let's say your husband always leaves his socks on the pillow. Sorry, gross. But okay, so he leaves his socks on the pillow. And the outcome you want is him not to leave the socks on the pillow anymore. You find it disgusting. So the outcome, that's the outcome you want. If you turn to him and say, it's so disgusting to me that you leave the socks on the pillow, right? Not very effective at getting the outcome you want. But if you say, you're such an awesome person, I'm just making up different ways of saying, you're such an awesome person. There's one thing, I know it doesn't bother you to leave socks on the pillow. I'm sure you would love if I left my socks on your pillow, okay? But, I really, really would appreciate, or just you take the socks off the pillow, whatever it is. But anyway, what's the outcome you're looking for? That's O. T. T is timing. Timing. What are you going to do when are you going to say what you're going to say? Because if he comes in and he puts down his stuff and whatever, you say, it really bugs me that you didn't text me, that you came late without telling me, whatever, right? Not such great timing. His steam's coming out of his ear. He's had a horrible day. He hasn't eaten dinner yet, timing. So that's what we're going to work on. H-O-T, hot. Okay, that's the secret to communication. There's a lot more to that than that, but that'll at least when you're in the heat of a battle or in the heat of something's about to come out of your mouth, think hot. Is this the outcome I want? Is this the right time to say this? How am I going to say this that's going to get me the outcome that I want? That's it. Okay, now we're going to start with the first problem. I'd like to introduce our two. Can you zoom out? What do I need to do? Okay, are these guys on screen? Okay, good. These lovely, awesome people. So this is Rachel.
No, Chaim. What?
Oh, Marcos.
I know we're LA, and there is whatever, but he's a man.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this is you're going to play the husband. You're starting off as the husband. Very good. You're the wife. Okay, very good. Okay, Melissa. So now. Here's the first question. I'm going to give you the problem. Your job is to give her as hard a time as humanly possible. Okay. So here's the first question, and everybody can write in one. Sarit said only one. One question.
One question.
Okay. So here,
Golden Path Organizing asked if you could just repeat what the O stands for.
oh, outcome. The outcome that you're looking for. Like, if I say this, is that going to get the outcome that I want? Because a lot of times we'll argue about something and we'll be realizing, you're arguing for the wrong outcome. The outcome of having him move his socks is not to necessarily just have him move his socks. It's to feel you, to understand you, to get where you're coming from, to like have a thought in his mind that there's somebody else who lives in the house with him. That's the outcome you ultimately want. Okay, fine. Okay, so this thing is squeaking. Is this like making everybody crazy?
No,
it's okay.
yeah, it's
okay.
good.
Like hello, I need a bath of DW40. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's your first. This is what you're trying to work with him.
Okay.
Should I tell you what it is or keep it a secret? Okay, so here it's at a dinner party last week. Your husband said in front of everyone, "This is the best soup I've ever had in my life." Okay, he said it to somebody else's wife. Mm-hmm. Okay, meaning like you, obviously because his wife's soup
I
is
make
horrible.
soup all the time.
He makes soup all the time,
Got it.
and he says, "This is the best soup I've ever had in my life." Now, here you are, you're in a situation, and should we say the timing is good? Let's just say the timing. You've made sure he's eaten. You've made sure that it's a good time to talk. He's not in the middle of a business meeting. He's not, texting, whatever. So we have that as the ground rule, sort of. Otherwise, we'll spend half our time figuring that out. Okay, you're on. You're the wife. Go. Yes, you're our time.
I feel a little bit disrespected.
Well, you have to tell him. You have to tell him the whole thing that
Oh,
happened.
okay.
Act like he doesn't know.
All right.
What's the problem? What did you want to talk about?
Dear.
So last week you said in front of Charlene, that her soup was the best soup you've ever had.
Oh, that
You
was
know that.
amazing soup. It was the best.
I've been making your favorite soup for years, and I feel like I put a lot of effort into it, and I felt really offended that you would say that hers is the best. When I'm standing right there,
It had nothing to do with your soup. Her soup was just excellent. Like the best soup I've ever tasted. I just wanted her to know. It had nothing to do with
So should I
your
stop
soup.
making soup? Because should we just go to her house then, I guess, and only get soup from her? It might give me like a nice break at home.
That
you
doesn't
know what I
seem
mean?
feasible.
I'm just saying it hurt my feelings that you would say that to her, and maybe we both have good
You're
soup.
too
Wait,
sensitive. What I say to Charlene has nothing to do with you. That was an excellent soup.
Okay, but you're hurting my
She's too
feelings.
good.
You're hurting my feelings that you never compliment my soup. In fact, it would
Your
make me...
feelings are too sensitive. That's the problem here, not my words.
Okay, do we need a timeout? Like, where do we go from there?
Sure, yeah.
This is where she throws the soup in his face.
We need a bowl of soup. Where's our prop lady? Come on. We need
This
a
is
bowl of-
where, feel free to throw something at him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you are at a place where you don't feel heard, and it just, you saw it was going circle and circle, and you said you tried a different angle, and nothing was working. Right? It's like, how do you get through the mentality of another person? Now, I'm going to say that men are from different planet, but also women are from a different planet, because he might communicate something and we'll take it a different. So
Yeah,
now
I,
it's
under
about-
my mustache, was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Because you're a woman.
That's right. I feel for you. So in a situation like this, you have to understand he's not going to get the emotional side. Like when you're talking to a girlfriend and you can tell her, and she's like, "Oh, I got it. I hear you. You know, when that kind of a bond thing, that's not probably possible in this situation, given who her husband is and given the situation and given the thing that he thinks the soup is fine. So in this kind of a situation, it might be, in order to have him fully understand your perspective, how it would feel on your aspect, there's a couple of things you could do. One is you could use an example. How would it feel if, we went in and whatever the baseball card collection you have or whatever, if I told someone that was the most awesome baseball collection, or that's a dumb example, but you know what I'm saying, something like that. So using a little thing like that to try to understand. But the issue here is not necessarily if he said something like that, it means most men, they don't have the sensitivity to know how painful that could be for a woman. And so for her, no matter how many times she tells it to him, he doesn't quite get it. So this is a case also where you might want to just use an action strategies of saying, I hear that you don't get. So I'm giving you a lot of a few tidbits, and then you're going to roll with it, okay? And see if you can take whatever works through your system to speak it to her. But and same with all of you. Like, I'm going to give some samples. But if you were to say to her that you're, listen, I understand that you're not getting that it hurt my feelings. You just have to understand that it did. And I have to have some insurance from you that you won't do something like that again, because I really felt badly. So that's another. That's the second. And then the third thing you can do in this type of a situation, again, it's all, you are doing very good in terms of juggling your communication, try and get him to get it. In your voice, I heard anger. What? I didn't hear any of the sadness, because here's sadness, and then we cover it with anger, and all the person gets is the anger, and the anger doesn't really move somebody. It makes them defensive. It doesn't make whatever. But if you just doesn't have to let all sadness out. Let a little sadness out. A man responds. I don't know if you should burst into tears, but a man gets your emotion. So if you can, as much as you can, keep the anger out of your communication, it's 1,000 times more effective. Ready, ladies? Or men, or whatever you are? Okay.
Are we starting from the top? From the
No,
top
start
of the
from
issue?
start from
where
here.
we were.
Yeah, just
Lisa
run with it.
Sugarman said this is so realistic.
It's okay.
Mommy, Cookie Jar, and her both watching. So
Thank you very much for
I
being
guess
here.
they get it.
They get it. Okay, fine.
I just feel like you maybe didn't taste the soup.
Yeah, I guess I didn't taste the soup because I was hoping that my soup was good enough. And even though it seems like I'm maybe splitting hairs about soup, I'm hoping that maybe you can see that even if it's hard to understand it, it did hurt my feelings because I put a lot of effort into making food for you.
You do take a long time.
Ouch.
Every day.
It's really hard.
It's very
to make.
involved. I appreciate you making me soup,
Thank you.
and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
I appreciate that. I think, sometimes you work on the car, and if I were to come back from Valvoline and say, oh my gosh, this mechanic was the best I've ever seen. I want no one else to work on my car.
What?
It might make you feel a little bit inadequate. And while I know that you care about me, it seems like maybe, I don't know, maybe you could just try to be a little bit more sensitive when it comes to other women's soups or other people's soups.
When you put it like that sounds...
Okay, great. Let's swap out, guys. Excellent job, guys. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here we go. Hello. Okay, good. So there's Brittany and Annie. Okay, fine. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you're the husband. Oh, this is good. Yeah, if the husband's always here, then I don't get all confused, which I might get confused anyhow. Okay, so so here's your issue: is your husband makes fun of you. He makes fun of the way you snort while you laugh. He teases you when you can't remember what you were talking about in mid-sentence, like you're in the middle of talking and you just whatever space out. And at the time you laugh at his making fun of you, but deep down it really hurts you. And now you're at a place, you thought, this has been going on, we've been married for 4 years or whatever, and you really have to talk to him about it because it hurts your feelings, and especially when it happens in front of other people. So you're going to express that to her. Your job is to give her as hard of a time as possible. Okay, go.
Honey, I love when we have company over. I love it.
too.
It's so fun. But I get a bit embarrassed because when I start laughing and enjoying myself, I have little quirks. I have quirks. I snort when I laugh.
I love that you snort. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like you're making fun of me, that I become like the butt of the joke.
I'm joking. I'm joking when I do that. It's just a joke. Why don't you get it? It's just a joke.
Because when you and your friends all start laughing at the thing that I'm doing, it doesn't feel cute or endearing anymore. It feels embarrassing, and I don't want to be a part of it, and I feel like I am the joke instead of laughing at the actual joke
We
that you
think you're
said.
funny. We think you're funny, and we're laughing at you. I don't know why you always take it so seriously. You don't get my humor. And it's like, it's not fun when you don't get my humor.
I do.
I'm joking.
I laugh at your jokes, and then you're laughing at me, and
Yeah,
then
I'm laughing at your jokes.
But then I forget what I'm gonna say because I'm laughing and I get distracted. And you always cut me off because I'm forgetting things mid-sentence, and
You're getting so flustered over this. Like, it's not a big deal. This isn't a big deal. It's just jokes.
Awesome.
It's such a big deal. Like, I can't help that my mind goes into like so many different avenues, and just so much is going on in my head, and then I start feeling embarrassed because you're putting me on the spot, and everyone's laughing, and then I turn red, and then I snort more, and then I forget what I'm even trying to say, and like that's just not fun for me. The anxiety levels are horrible, honey.
This is horrible.
What?
Just calm down. You're making such a big deal out of nothing. Like, it's just jokes. Stop taking things so seriously.
Okay, so we're gonna have to time out. Whoa, you guys were good. Whoa, scary. So what do you, let me just ask you from the husband's perspective, and you were a really good husband. What do you feel would have worked? What would have gotten through to you?
I'm not sure. Maybe being more sad. You got very flustered, and I think that maybe that would overwhelm men, the way that you talked really fast at me. And I think that maybe if you were slower with your delivery.
Interesting. That's how you say it. H, hot, right? Hot. So the outcome you're looking for is actually to have him change a very well-worn habit. Well, however long you guys have known each other, I'm sure this is not like all of a sudden you started snorting. Okay? I'm sorry I gave that example. I don't know. I sometimes snort, so don't tell anybody. Okay. So anyway, but the thing is that the outcome you want is for him to change a pretty ingrained habit. And not only is it an ingrained habit that between the two of you, it's an ingrained habit between you and on your social group. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is like the typical way that, like they make merry, like everybody has a glass of wine and you're all laughing or whatever. Oh, let's have you be the butt of our joke today. Ouch. Yeah. So you're actually asking for a lot here. And acknowledging that is the big part of the game, is understanding what is hurting you is actually pretty tough for him to change, which is habits. We all have tough time with habits, okay? So acknowledging that would help. That's your first tip. Second tip is that there kept being in the communication, it was very good and very realistic, but there kept being in there a accusation of, like you're the victim and he's the perpetrator of the crime, which actually happens to be true in this case. But when a person is made to feel like the perpetrator of a crime, their first actions, which is what he did, is to act like it's not a crime. Oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, it's to poo-poo it and put it down. So even though you are correct and you're right in the situation, it's not an effective way to get him to change and to see your side of it. Okay, so the second tip is to sort of not push. And he said he or she whatever mentioned that when she said, "Oh, you're talking so fast at me," or whatever. It was just that you kept kind of trying to poking him. You're wrong. Can't you see that wrong? Here's another evidence that you're wrong. Here's another evidence of you're wrong. And so his just builds up a big wall of shield. So instead of doing that, if you understand where that making yourself victim isn't effective, even if you are the victim, but instead you would do something like you would tell him that you understand why he does what he does, and just use compassion. I understand why you do it, and actually it is funny. And if I wasn't the one who was the butt of the joke, I would find it very funny, but it hurts. So, having him really, really get that without putting him on the defensive, that's number 2. Number 3 is to think of perhaps something that you do that bothers him that you will work on. Say, I realize this is a big ask. Because when you're asking your husband for stuff like this, first of all, we're like relationship beings. So for us, if you're with a girlfriend, you're like, listen, it really bothers me when you, use my hairbrush and then don't clean it out after. You can tell your girlfriend that and she'll like whatever. A guy is just kind of like, it's a different thing with a man and a woman. So when you're going to a man and you're trying to get him to change or whatever, it's a big. So understanding that it's a big ask. So if there's something like, let's say he's always says, you know, when I come home from dinner, when I come home from work or whatever, I always feel like you're totally not there for me. You know, I'm making up a thing, okay? And you're just not there for me. Like you're either with the kids or you're on the phone or you're whatever. I just feel like I come home and it's like it made no difference if I came home or not. So now you take that and use that in this situation. Say, you know, listen, there's been something that's been bothering you you've been bugging me about for years, which is this habit I have of always being busy. And there is a thing when a husband comes home, a woman sort of naturally wants to be. It's a change of status of the household. It's like the household was quiet and hers, or maybe is screaming with all the kids, or whatever it is. The status changes when the husband comes into the house, just the same as it does when a wife comes into the house. But, you know, when the husband comes, the status changes, and that's hard for a woman. It's like the adjustment process of now, you know, whatever. So that adjustment, a woman will naturally sort of take out the upset that it's not going the way she wants it to on her husband, and it's a natural thing. So there's point number 3 is when this happens and she is, you know, this situation, you're trying to have her have you've got a big ask for her. Say, for him, you have to say, you know, listen, I understand what you're going through. I want you to know, if you'll work on this, not laughing when I'm snorting, I will work harder on when you come home greeting you. So you're doing a little bit of a swap. Like you're not saying you do all the work in this relationship because you're the wrong one, which might be, you know, but you're offering something else that you're going to be willing to do for it. And the other thing is give him alternative. So if this is the 4th thing. If he is doing it, right, and you say, you know, instead of laughing when I snort, give me a wink. That'll be your new thing, you know. That'll be your new thing. You'll know that you're stopping that I snorted. You and I will have a private joke between the two of us. You'll wink at me. That means that you love me and that you're purposely not making a big deal about me snorting in front of everybody. And I will take that as the biggest love hug on the planet Earth. So give him something to do that's powerful, that makes him feel, you know, that would be worth, like, in other words, if he had to weigh up having having a good hearty laugh at your expense and all his friends laughing at your expense and the sweetness that he gets there, which causes you pain, versus the sweetness of winking at you and having a tight bond in front of everybody. You guys are having your private little yummy togetherness, right, in front of everybody. That will totally outweigh the other juice he's getting from doing the other mean thing. Okay, ready?
Okay, but Leah, and you know me, I'm always, you know, bashing husbands.
Okay.
I'm my own. So I'm never for the men on this. But in this particular situation, I kind of agree with him. She's snorting. That's funny. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's okay for him to, and he even said it at the beginning. He kept saying, but you laugh at my jokes, I'm laughing at you. We're laughing because you're funny. Not because you're the butt of anyone's joke. It's part of the whole situation. So I feel like, at what point is it that he has to...
What point are her feelings valid?
Or what point is it all on him to make the, like, change versus her saying, oh, he just said to me, that's actually funny when I'm snorting, and it's not making me stupider. It's just, this is who I am. I snort, and it's funny, and everyone enjoys it. It's what makes me who I am. Like, he wasn't saying that he thinks it's annoying. He was actually validating the snort.
I hear it. Good points. But there's a subtlety in his laughter. If there's 0.01% that makes her feel belittled, and she's not willing to live with that, it's not okay. If she's bringing it up to him, it means it crossed some barrier. And maybe when they were dating or their first couple of years of marriage, she found it was adorable. Mm-hmm. But at some point, it turned over into, he's laughing at me, and they're all laughing, and I'm outside of that, and I'm separate, and I'm lower, and it feels like bullying. Now, if in every other area of their marriage, he made her feel fantastic, like she was the queen of the world, that she made the best soup ever, you know, and she, whatever, it's true, this wouldn't bother her so much. But it's probably, this is a little bit of a taste of other ways he's treating her disrespectfully. Okay. So it's worth the battle. Okay, ready? Go, ladies. Men, Jen, whatever you were. Okay, go. Okay, you just take up from where we were.
It just hurts my feelings. just hurts my feelings when you laugh when I snort. It just humiliates me. It's not all the time, but it is sometimes, because a couple people I can handle, but sometimes I can't handle it. And it's embarrassing and it is humiliating because it's all of our friends.
Oh, I don't want to humiliate you. I mean, that's horrible. I don't want you to feel like that.
Thank you.
So, it's a natural reaction that I just laugh because I think it's funny, but is it okay when we're together, just you and me, if I can still laugh a bit at it?
Yeah, I feel like when we're together, we have that, I don't know, we're compatible and so comfortable with each other that it is, I don't know, I feel like myself and I snort even more.
I love that. I love your snort. Like, I think it's adorable, and that's why I laugh at it. But if I'm embarrassing you in front of people, then I won't do it in front of a lot of people.
Maybe we could have like our own little thing. Like maybe give me a cheeky smile and I'll know that it's something inside. And then I won't feel so insecure in front of other people about it. Because I know.
So, because I am going to react when you snort, because I love it. But I can hold it in and just direct it at you and not involve everybody at the party.
Yay! Okay, you guys are up. Good job, guys. That was terrific. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we got the wife. Now you're the wife.
Yeah.
You're the wife now, and you're the husband. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, we haven't had to use our duct tape one time. Come on, come on, guys. Do something we need to
Actually use it? I didn't know you could actually use it.
Well, we'll take your mustache off if we put the duct tape over there.
Husband, move. In and
You
drop
need to
more.
squeeze it. Squeeze in. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
Okay. Husband. Okay, you're the wife. Okay. Husband always tells you to calm down. So instead of really listening to you can never get into a deep discussion, because as minute you get upset or something is really deep or whatever, he tells you to calm down.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. So he makes you feel badly for the way you feel.
Okay.
Okay. Ready, set, go.
There is nothing that makes me feel less calm than when you tell me to calm down.
Why are you so upset?
I see red. When you tell me to calm down, I see red.
But you're always seeing red. Like,
Yeah.
you're seeing red right now.
No.
Yeah,
well,
she's wearing red.
because you are telling me to calm down. And that then it's like everything that I'm feeling doesn't matter, and I'm too upset, and I'm like a hysterical woman.
It's not rational.
What?
I mean,
What,
it's
my
not
feelings?
rational. Yeah, you get all worked up. You get all upset. There's no talking to you.
No, there's no talking to you because you say calm down.
What do
You
you
don't
even
even
wanna-
listen. It's like a wall.
What do you even want to talk about? I don't even
Nothing now. Forget it.
So, okay.
This is why we never have conversations.
We
Because
have
you're just
conversations
like,
all the time. We're having a conversation right now. This is a
not a
conversation,
deep
no?
conversation. We can't get at anything because the minute I start expressing my actual feelings, you tell me to calm down.
It's because your feelings, you're overreacting to almost everything. Whether it's a movie, whether it's a dish in the sink, or whatever. It's a national event every time.
Well,
Sometimes it's just a dish.
how else can I get through to you?
Why do you have to get through to me?
Because of the dishes in the sink.
Okay, but I know there's dishes in the sink. In fact, I don't know how I could know anything else, because it's all I hear about.
Well, because as soon as I start to tell you how upset I am about that or anything, you just shut it down.
Because you're always upset. It's hard to...
But then we
so
end up talking
realistic,
about
isn't
how
this
upset I am
unbelievable?
than about the actual
Hello.
thing.
Scary. It's so realistic. You guys are good. Wow. Wow.
Is that my timeout?
Well, hold on a sec. What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like a very familiar point in an argument where you get to that you're just arguing about how you're arguing instead of getting to the heart of the matter that you both probably want to talk about, but then you start, it's not even arguing semantics. It's just like arguing something you said 5 minutes ago, or, well, you just said this, or you told me, and then we're arguing about the argument, and we're never actually like talking about anything that matters.
Right. So I'm going to give an unbelievable treasured gift.
Okay.
Which is saying, how do you think we can solve this?
Oh.
Because it takes from, right, to, okay, what are we going to do together? Instead of fighting with each other, it's like, how are we going to move forward? So let's try that. So you're
Solving
using-
the actual argument. The
yeah,
argument about
right now you're
arguing.
arguing about arguing.
Okay.
That's what I
Yeah.
gave you a tough one.
Yeah.
So, but you want to have a conversation with him
Right.
in a way that doesn't continue that conversation. You can even come outside of the conversation and say, listen, I realize that we're having a conversation about conversations. If we can solve a conversation about conversations, a lot of the other issues that are bothering us can be solved. There are people, and they say, oh, Leah, I'll talk to my husband. They're like, no. You do not have a good track record of having good communication with your husband, because every time you have an argument about how you argue. You need to go to a third party. So everyone who's watching this, yourself. If you are the kind of person where you always, like anytime there's look, on little issues, maybe you're great. Let's go here, let's do that, whatever. On big issues, you have a track record in your marriage of heavy-duty conflict, of not solving it well, of not resolving it, or it being his way and you being annoyed, or it being your way and him being annoyed. If you have that kind of a history in your relationship, you need to get to a third party or read a book or go watch YouTube videos, whatever it is. You need to figure out how to have a conversation how to have a battle without a war, or something like that. How to problem solve in your relationship. So for this one that you got was how to argue. You're arguing about how you argue. Mm-hmm. Actually stating it as such and saying, listen, I think if we were better at communicating when we have issues, if you didn't always say calm down, whatever, which puts me on the defensive, and then maybe, which makes me ramp up. And look, I'm not going to blame this whole thing on you. I'm going to say, I also, when you and I start discussing something and it gets a little heated, I am back as a child where I didn't have a voice. My father didn't listen to me, or my mother didn't listen to me, and and I have a hard time with it, and I feel claustrophobic and whatever, and I just want out. I just want to scream and run out of the room, and whatever it is. You don't have to take on weird mental things that I'm feeding you. I'm just saying, whatever it is that you are dealing with, whatever emotions you're dealing with, you share them and say, so I would like to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you right now on how to have conversations without fighting. Let's figure it out. If we can't figure it out together, maybe we'll go to somebody. A lot of husbands will go, I don't need to go to see anybody. I know what I'm doing. I communicate fine with everybody else in my life. Where's my mustache? So the point is, this conversation here is a sit down, and you might want to couch it in that and say, listen, a lot of the issues we have, if we solve this, a lot of our other issues would go smoother. Now, one of the things is, besides saying how are we going to solve this, another tip would be when you're having a visceral or emotional, what's visceral? Live wire, like really intense emotion about something, state it. Say, you have to understand, I want to have a calm, wonderful communication with you. I want to bond with you. I want to, at the end of this conversation, us to smile at each other and just be so happy that we had a good communication. But I know myself, when things get like this, I get emotional, I get defensive. I'm working on it. I'm really working on it, but I want to get closer to you. Puts the whole thing in a different light. Okay.
Okay, Leah, wave to your daughter. She said, "Hi, Mom."
Oh.
And I'm assuming she's talking to you and not the other two.
Okay.
If it's my daughter, get back to class.
That's Rachel. That's your daughter.
Second grade.
Say hi, Mom.
So thank you, hi. But also, guys, we want a question from you. The next one
Well,
we're
we
going to
did
do.
get a question. How can I get her book? Which I already told them. Amazon
or artscroll.com. Okay, thank you very much. Very nice. So, but also, if people who are watching, I would love, I've got a whole bunch of role play issues. I would love a role play issue from you that you yourself are dealing with on a daily basis with your husband. Think for a minute. Shouldn't take too long to figure out what the conflict is. Okay, so type it in. We'll take it next. Okay, ready? We're going back into business.
Okay, so because we're just arguing about arguing, and we're not actually getting to what we needed to talk about. How do you think we can solve this so that we can argue better?
Tell me the issue up front, because when you come in, I feel like I'm immediately being yelled at, or I've immediately done something wrong because all I see is emotions. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have emotions. if there's any way that you can just say what the issue is without possibly assigning blame initially, it would be helpful.
You know what? You just saying to me that you saw emotions blew my mind, because you never say that. You just say calm down. And it would be way better for me if you just outlawed the words calm down for yourself and you just switched it to I see you're really upset. Like if I felt like you saw that I was upset, I would calm down. I feel calmer because I feel like you see that I'm upset.
How about be cool?
Just kidding.
That does not work. It does not work. Okay, fine. Wow. Okay. That seems great. Yeah?
Yeah.
We happy with that? Any comments from the peanut gallery? Anybody? Yeah? Good? Okay, fantastic. Good. Thank you, ladies. Okay, let's go to the next one. Do we have a question from somebody yet?
Nope.
Come on, guys. Put up there. Okay,
Scenario.
here we
Give
go.
us a
Okay.
scenario
A
piece.
scenario. We want an issue that you're dealing with your husband or your friend's issue. How's that? They're afraid to talk about their personal lives. Okay, ready? Thank you. Okay. Oh, you're the one. Very nice.
life.
You're the man. Okay, good. Is she in camera? Do you need to squish it a
Yes,
little bit?
push it more, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so fine.
You're such an attractive gentleman. Look at that hair.
Lucky woman.
Flowy.
Okay, so here's
Red
your
locks.
issue. The husband spends money stupidly. Okay, he tells you we're really, really tight this month. We,
Oh
just
my gosh,
cut back.
seriously, Leah? Lisa Sugarman, as you're saying that, literally right as you're talking at the same time, said, how to balance finances. What is spending too much?
Fantastic! See,
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're right
you're,
on.
You're
Space.
like
That's it.
telepathically
Telepathic.
communicating.
So he tells you we're very tight this month, cut back a little bit, and then he walks in the door with a $120 pair of music speakers, saying they're for you also. They're for the whole family, right? And you really don't need them. And okay, so fine, that's it. So basically, it's a money issue. If he hadn't said it was tight, that's one, then it's a little annoying. He bought the $120 speaker, but he just told you that, and you're busy saying, should I get these napkins or the cheap napkins? And you're watching pennies. He comes out with a $120 thing. Okay, go.
What are you doing? Why did you spend the money on that? I had to cut coupons all day yesterday to go grocery shopping, and you come home with that speaker? We don't need that.
Yes, we absolutely do need that.
Why?
Because the whole family needs to hear it. We need the sound of whatever we listen to, whatever we watch. You just want to feel a part of it.
No,
That's
I
why.
don't know. I don't get it. I did understand that's a luxury, and I thought that we weren't able to afford luxuries at this time. I've been trying really hard.
That's so great. I'm happy you've been trying so hard, because now we get to keep the speakers. It is a luxury. It is a luxury, and we do need nice things every now and then. And we needed these speakers, and I saw them. I couldn't pass it up. I work hard. I work very hard, and
I know that you work hard, but you get to live this luxurious life while I have to budget for us so that we can survive. That's not fair.
We're in this life together. You're living this luxurious life too. The speakers, you will hear them.
I don't want the speakers. I didn't want the speakers. Maybe if we spent the money on something that we both wanted, but you didn't. You got something that you wanted.
Okay, what if we just try it for a week? You might actually see that you wanted these speakers. I thought of both of us, the whole family, our guests that will come over when I purchase these speakers.
Regardless of if it's going to be nice or not, it was irresponsible of you, and you're making me track our money while you spend it on whatever you want.
Irresponsible? I work very hard, and I should be
You guys are really good. Ouch. Is this hard? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's.
247 Mom said they are so funny.
Yeah, they're awesome. But it's so real.
Props for the ladies.
So there you go. Thank you,
And men.
Sweetie Pie. So here's the thing. Let's go to hot. Okay? H-O-T. Let's go to hot. So let's start with H. H is how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So analyze how you're talking to him.
I am yelling at him.
Okay, fine. Good. We got reality, Chad. The reality show? This is reality. Okay, you're yelling at him. What else? How else are you?
I'm being aggressive towards him and not taking his wants seriously, I guess. even though it's a questionable want.
Oh my god, I think my husband would love to have you as a wife. You call that yelling and aggressive? Girlfriend, you have not seen an Israeli Yemenite in the room, so that is nothing. You're like, and you spend on speakers, and I'm like, I would be
choking. There would be. She's going like this. Okay, fine. So that's how. Also, but the other thing is you didn't bring up the point, and I want you to bring this up when we get back to your thing. You bring up the point that he said it's going to be a tight month. Like, remember that fact, because now this goes against what I'm saying, which is try not to make him wrong, because that definitely does make him wrong. But it shows you're listening to him and he's not listening to himself, holding himself to a different standard. Okay, how else are you? We're on H now. How are you saying it that isn't working? I mean, he's not listening, and he's being whatever. But the only thing we can work on, and this is what we always say, when's the men's class? I get it. But the only thing we can work on is ourselves. And believe me, one of the key things that you will learn in Ladies Talk Show, we have a lot of power. And we throw it away. We squander our power as women. And we're very powerful with our mind, with how we do things, how we say things. We can get a lot of things that we're so frustrated aren't going our way, with a little sweet little tweaks that we can work on. We're learning them here. Go. So I want to hear more of how you are saying it.
I guess
it's not working.
Saying it aggressive, sort of nasty towards him. I'm
Making
very
him
disappointed at him, making him wrong.
Here's the other thing about it, is that she's not giving him any place to come back to you. In other words, the only way he can get out of this is admitting you're right and being wrong, and nobody wants to do that. So if you were to say, I understand, that how you feel that way or whatever, but could you consider my feelings of it, give him a way that he can sort of step aside from where he is if you come at him head on. Okay, let's go to O. What's the outcome you're looking for here?
I guess just for him to apologize and say, I will be more conscious. I said it's tight. That shouldn't just be on you. I should also be conscious of our spending.
So you just want him to acknowledge it, or do you want him to return the speakers, or do you want him to, what outcome?
I don't want him to return the speakers, because I never return things. Okay. But I want him to say, I will also be more aware of my spending in the future. So sort of adjust in the future.
I would call that a midterm goal.
Okay.
The bigger goal, and again, when you're thinking about what's the outcome you're looking for, you can keep it very little. And there's a story of the king's son or whatever, and he goes into this village, one of these old-fashioned stories, whatever, and he's there, and and the little hut that he has water drizzling through, and so the king comes and he grants whatever wish you want, whatever you want. So the king comes and he says, What would you like as your wish? And he says, oh, can you give me some tar to cover the holes in my hut? He could have asked for a country. He could have asked for an army. He could have asked for a palace. And he asked for, you know what I'm saying? So when you're thinking about what your outcome is, what you're looking for, think huge. So think the ultimate thing I want is I want more money flowing into the home. I want more us to be able to live the fulfilling life that we want. I want my husband, I want to be as close as possible to my husband. Think something, not too many things, because then it's just airy-fairy, but just something very, very deep and emotional and that can draw you to, bring that goodness into your life. And we're not airy-fairy people, and we don't want to think, oh, if you think it, then it'll come true. But I'm just saying, when you think of your outcome, you want to think of not just the immediate outcome, although that's fine to do, but a bigger outcome would be to be thinking of, a woman has a lot of control over how much money your husband makes, and a lot of that has to do, we learn here a lot about receiving from your husband, and the more a woman is open to receiving, the larger a vessel she is, the more blessing comes into their home from God himself. And the blessing that comes in is money and health and good things happening and the car not breaking down. So blessing is, the more peace and serenity and happiness and joy there is in the marriage, the more blessings will come into the home. That's a guarantee, and that's not from Leah Richeimer. That's a 3,000-year-old track record of success. That if you go for peace in the marriage, that a lot, all sorts of blessing will come pouring into the house. So for you, if you're thinking of your outcome, you're thinking of how can I bring more blessing into the home, and how can I use this as a way to communicate with my husband to bring more blessing in the home. Okay, that was O. Let's go to T. How's timing? So that's a little hard because we put you here. But let's say if he had just come home from work, bad time. If he had, after he's eaten, maybe he's played a little of a Candy Crush or whatever he does on the thing, whatever, then it might be a way to approach him.
No, well, timing was terrible because he just brought in the speakers. It's not the time that she wants to be telling him you shouldn't bring in speakers, meaning she should say how amazing the speakers are and whatever, and then have a conversation because he's excited.
Yeah.
And she just burst his entire bubble bringing home an amazing surprise to the family. So.
Right.
Bad timing, girlfriend.
Okay. So okay, you guys are
Put
on.
some anger into it.
Okay, go.
This is a very nice gift for the family. I know that you're just thinking about us and you want us all to be happy, and that was really sweet of you. So thank you for it. I just want you to, you had mentioned to me that it was a tight month. So I've been really conscious about my spending. And if you can also be conscious about your spending, then we have such a brighter future ahead of us. I mean, if we can save more now, then our bills will be taken care of, and then we could go on a trip for the family. We could all be together, We'll have more to look forward in the future if we can be more conscious about what we're doing day by day.
Can you guys also watch the tone, how it shifted? Is this like, aren't you listening? Like, I'm like, whatever you want, dear. It's just the tone. That's just the subtlety, and like she's not wagging the finger. It's very soft. Okay, could you feel that? Well, you're
absolutely.
a girl. You.
Well,
I don't know if you could really have a guy. Anyway, okay, so good. So go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you can just finish up and then you can answer. Are you?
So, thank you for getting it for us. I'm sure the family, it's going to be so fun for us all to listen to. Just in the future, let's both really think about what we're spending money on so that we can think in the future what we're going to be able to do with that money.
You are right. I did say it was going to be a tight month, so I should definitely be more mindful with making purchases for myself and for the family. And if it is for the family, I should have, consulted you since we are a team.
It could be that you could have an agreement that anything over $50 you could call each other, or over $20, $100, whatever you guys can, that kind of thing. If for the people who was the one who asked the question? Sugarman?
Is Sugarman.
Yeah. Thank you very much for asking it. So if that answers that, the basic thing is if a lot of financial things, a lot of $5 and $10 things people get mad about, don't even, if it's $5 or $10, don't even, I mean, depending on your budget, but whatever, most people that would be okay. Just let it go. Don't say a thing. Save your fetching and your argument for things that are $120 or $80. Make a cutoff. Could be you say, listen, if either of us wants to spend, things are tight now. If either of us wants to spend $100, want to run it by each other, like that. Did that answer your question? Did you have another follow-up? Anything? You good? You good? Okay, fine. Let's do the next one. Great job, ladies. Okay, last ones. Come. Okay, the lady and the man over here. Let's go. Okay, the next one. Okay. Oh, there's so many good ones to check. Yeah.
What's new?
There's so many good ones. Which one should I do? Okay, I guess I'll have to do this one. Okay, this one's good. So you're upset because this husband takes out the trash begrudgingly. Thank you, begrudgingly. So he acts like taking out the trash is doing you a huge favor. Mm-hmm. Okay, you do the shopping, you fill the trash, you clean the dishes, you do all the stuff, the cooking and whatever, and he thinks he's doing you a big favor, and you think it's his job, and you're tired of nagging him to do it. You're on.
Why do you make such an affair about taking out the garbage?
I just sat down at my computer. I just started reading the article, and then it's like, take down, I'm in the middle of something.
Yeah, but I'm downstairs and I can smell
Yeah,
that
you're
like sweet smell,
downstairs.
like trash smell that wafts through the house. Like it's full.
You're downstairs. You're already there.
Yeah, but I do everything else, and
I do everything else.
I want you to
I'm
want
working
to
all
take the
day.
trash out, though. Like it seems like you.
I don't want to take the trash out.
Nobody.
I'm
wants,
never gonna want to take the trash out.
But because
You
it's-
don't want to take the trash out.
No, but if you wanted me to take the trash out and it was my job, I do it because I love you and I don't want our house to smell like trash. But I also don't want to go outside because it's dark.
And there's coyotes
And
out
there's
there.
coyotes. Sorry, I almost forgot. I'm so upset that I forgot about the coyotes. And you're so much better equipped to handle them than I am.
You
They
could
scare
take
me.
a coyote. You could absolutely
See, this
handle
is
a
not the
coyote.
point.
And I have a job.
Oh. Because running the house and raising the kids isn't a job? I'm sorry, what?
I don't want to go there.
Good.
I'm just saying
I don't
was
either.
upstairs and I was busy. And I don't want to hear nagging when I'm busy.
I wouldn't have to nag if you would do it and have an okay attitude about it, but I don't want to feel like I'm bowing down and begging for the king to please take out
That's
the trash just
not
one more
fair,
time.
But by the same token, you wouldn't have to nag if you just did it.
I guess I could just do everything.
I
Why even say goodnight to the kids? You know what I mean? I can handle it. Don't worry about it.
I like the kids. Sorry. Now I'm breaking character.
So much. It seems rude when it's just a very small task and it happens all the time.
It's
It
such a
seems like-
small task. You can just do it.
It seems like something I shouldn't have to ask you to do because we have dinner every night and the trash gets filled every other night. And it seems like, why not, when you see the trash filled up, just take it out? I don't know. Why do I have to keep saying it?
I'll do it on Sundays.
That's not... No. No.
Okay, time out. Okay, wow. This is a toughie. This is a toughie. So let's go through hot.
Okay.
Tell us how you're, the H is how are you saying it?
In an angry, aggravated, frustrated manner.
Yeah. How's that going for you?
So great. It's not going well. It's not yielding results.
All right. And there's also this whole shield of anger around the upset.
Mm-hmm.
So describe the upset of him not, because you didn't effectively communicate to him what you're upset about. It seems like it's all about the trash, when there's a whole other layer underneath of just feeling like life, it's not fair, or he's not doing his share, or he's not, and
It feels like we're not working as a team, and I have to make him participate in the teamwork that is running the house. So I feel left out.
What do you mean left out?
Like I feel left out in the
Abandoned.
cold in terms of having to do everything.
And literally, it's cold and dark out.
And then
And coyotes.
And coyotes.
Okay, and so how you're doing it isn't effective, and then we'll discuss ways to figure out. I'll give tips on that in a second. But the outcome. What's the outcome you're trying to get here?
for him to simply take out the trash without me having to ask, and if I do have to ask, having a more positive response.
Was that clear to you as the husband?
I
mean, did she
I know
communicate that
I know
effectively?
that she wanted me to take out the trash, but I didn't get the part of it, kind of like doing it cheerfully would
Right.
be good.
Okay, and also, did you get the reason she wants you to take out the trash is because she wants to be eternally bonded to you and feel like you're partners and like you're in this together and you take care of each other, and she wants to take care of you as best she can, and she wants to feel taken care of by you.
No, I stopped listening.
Right. So this is the big, remember I was saying you can have a little goal about taking out the trash, and then you can have this deeper, bigger goal, which is irresistible for a man. It's irresistible for a man when his wife wants to be like, share her life with him and be as close to him as possible and take care of him as you have to walk the walk. You can't just like but you do many things that he probably doesn't read as loving and taking care of him. You hang up his coat, let's say, or he walks in the house and you make sure, oh, Daddy's coming home, and you a little bit clean up the hallway so that he doesn't trip over and die, which would not be a good outcome. That's definitely not the outcome. So you do all these things that he doesn't know about that show your love and care for him, and they are not registering as a blip on his radar. And if he were to understand how much you do to take care of him, one little trash thing becomes much smaller. So if you clobber him over the head with that information, it's not going to be successful. It's going to be tit for tat, and I do this much and you do that much, whatever. But if he gets the emotion of feeling the love of everything that you're doing, there is a way to communicate it to him that'll make him actually want to do the trash more than he already does. Okay, not maybe only a little bit more, but you want the outcome that we're going for is, like you said, to have him be able to get it so that that's his job. Now, one of the secrets of this, if he has 20 jobs, none of them are going to be done very well or very enthusiastically. If he has 10 jobs, okay, it's going to go better. Now, this whole thing, division of labor, it's a feminist issue. There's a big mess here. So I'm not going to go into that quagmire. All I'm going to say about it is there has to be a clear division of labor. If the woman is full-time home, not working at all, that's one, and her husband's working full-time, that's one situation. If she's working half-time, a different situation. If she's working also full-time, a different situation. So depending on how you fall in that spectrum comes out of where the division of labor should be and how, if you're a full-time mom and he comes home, I don't know necessarily that he should be, having to go run out to the grocery store for you if you've got all day, unless you've got 7 kids under 7 or whatever it is. These all have to be worked out, and I'm not going into that politics. But you just have to know there is in the marriage, there is certain things that the husband should be doing. If there's we had a whole show on killing bugs. Who's gonna kill the bugs, right? So you know what I mean. It's like the guy has to know this is part of that he's got to figure something out there.
You married into bug killing.
That's it. That's the job. So you have there's certain roles. Okay, let's go to T, which is timing, which is he was up doing his thing. So you didn't cover timing well at all in the conversation. And what you need to say is, when he made the comment, he said, I'm up there, I'm in the middle of an article, and you interrupted me. That's your opportunity, because that showed there was a spark of him agreeing that he should do it, sort of. So if he had said that, if he said, well, I was in the middle of an article, so now that's your entree to turn to him and say, hey, what should I do in that situation? Do you want me to set a timer and remind you in 5 minutes? Do you want me to, call 15 minutes later? Or do you want to say, okay, put a Post-it on your, when you nag him, right? Put a Post-it on, and then within an hour you'll do it. How do you want it to work? And put it in his lap. Mm-hmm. Let him give you the answer, because there was an opening there that you missed. And the opening was his will. And I'm not blaming you for missing. I'm just saying, Okay, so that was him sort of stepping a little step towards you to, even though he was using it as his excuse. So that's a point where you say, well, what if that didn't work for you in the middle of what would work for you? And now it's forcing him to have to say, oh, well, if you did X, Y, Z, if you, got a special timer, or you got me an app, or you, just let it go, and as long as I did it before we went to bed, or something like that. But you get him to say that. Okay, we only have a few more seconds now, so you guys go with your finish up.
I know you're in the middle of something, and I'm sorry to have interrupted it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Sometimes it makes me feel bad to feel like I have to keep asking, and maybe we're just on different pages with it.
Oh, you asking makes you feel bad too?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So is there a way that we could feel, I know that you've come home and you're maybe not that excited to take out the trash.
Instagram people, this is all on Facebook, so you're going to be gone in 2 minutes, but check out the rest of it on Facebook because
Thanks, our
say your bye
Instagrammers.
to the
Bye,
Instagrammers because they
Bye.
are going now.
Okay, fine. Good
Sorry, I
catch.
had to say bye to Instagram really fast.
I understand.
If there's any way that maybe you could pay a little bit more attention to the trash so that I didn't have to ask as often and it would feel like we were working together a little bit more, that would make me feel better, and I could also trust that you were going to do it.
I always forget to take out the trash, so maybe before, I still need you to tell me to do it, but maybe before I go upstairs to my computer, I'll say, is there anything you need?
I love that.
That's not realistic.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, you guys come back on so we can say goodbye to everybody. Just come. No, you guys stay here. Come behind, whatever. We just want to wave at everybody. Pop your heads in right over here so we can say goodbye. Everybody, thank you so much for being here
Thanks
today.
for
The
having
Ladies
us.
Talk Show. This is, say your names. Everybody say your names.
Rachel Drummond.
Melissa Hyman.
Annie Sesta-Labor.
Brittany Powell.
Thank you very much. This is the Ladies Talk Show. This is Leah Richeimer. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.